Okay, welcome back. In this video, I'm going to be doing a comparison between the JBL Partybox 110 and the Soundboks Go. Firstly, we'll start with price. Soundboks Go technically retails for $738 when it's not on promo, and the JBL Partybox 110 retails for $350. So we're going to say half the price. Technically, it's actually a little bit more, but you can get it slightly cheaper on promotions, the Soundboks. So we're going to say the JBL is half the price of the Soundboks Go, which in most realistic factors it is. If we start with battery life, as obviously these are portable speakers, that's a massive feature. And the Soundboks Go is a 40-hour battery life at half volume, whereas the JBL is 12 hours. So obviously the JBL has a built-in battery along with all of its speakers, so that's going to be a bit different, where the Soundboks has a removable bigger battery, but they're both 3.5 hours to charge, but you're in 12 hours over 40 hours with the Soundboks. So obviously if you're going to be outside for longer than 12 hours, then you're either going to need a power cable to bump the JBL up, or you're going to need the Soundboks effectively. However, the Soundboks Go does have 144 watts of power and the JBL has 160 watts. So technically, you're getting a bit more sound for your battery life, if you see what I mean. Frequency range wise, they're very similar. Actually, the Soundboks Go is 40 hertz to 20,000 hertz, and the JBL is 45 hertz to 20,000. So 5 hertz more at the lower range, meaning the Soundboks Go can go just a slight bit deeper, lower, obviously. So that actually kind of surprised me, but. Yeah, but it's I expected the Soundboks to have a much higher frequency range on the other end, but it doesn't. So you've actually got a very similar sound coming out of these two. The Soundboks weighs 9.2 kilos, and the JBL weighs 10.4 kilos. So it's a little bit more weight on the JBL side, and it is much harder to carry because you have to hold that handle at the back at a weird angle, and it's quite hard to walk with because it's long and it hits the floor. So as the Soundboks, it's a much better shape for that. Soundboks Go has one 10-inch woofer on the right hand side and one 1-inch tweeter here, whereas the JBL has two 5.25-inch woofers and two 2.25-inch tweeters. So technically you're going to be getting more of a stereo sound out of that, and maybe a better clarity. You don't have one tweeter doing literally all of the sound pretty much. You've got them kind of shared together. So we'll see in the sound test whether that makes any difference. Okay, so we'll start with the Soundboks, and then obviously I'll swap between them during the time of the song, and we'll speak about the audio afterwards.
I'm on my own, broken alone. I feel the rain crashing down all around this empty town. I'm searching for the lost and found, but you don't care, you're unaware. Keep moving like the scars aren't even there. It's in the air like a blazing flare. Just there 'cause the flames won't burn us. Thought you were the one for me. That's why I gave you everything. Held you close by the storm
sound test over. Obviously, you would have heard them just side by side there, which is a much better way to hear it than one after the other, as I have. But I honestly do believe that the sound from the Soundboks is superior. Even the bass seems a bit more. It just seems a bit more thumpy. It seems maybe potentially more artificial, but the JBL was in its bass boost mode as well, so they're both in their bass boost modes, and I prefer the sound from the Soundboks. I honestly do. And that's quite impressive, being half the size effectively and only having one woofer, one tweeter compared to two woofers, two tweeters. That is impressive. I guess that's just what, it's a big woofer. So yeah, and clearly the technology behind the Soundboks is superior in that sense. But I can't get over the price. I mean, this is half the price and it has a light show with it. So it's really difficult to tell these apart if you or to recommend one or the other. If money isn't an object and you're after the best portable speaker, then the Soundboks it is. But obviously if you want lights, then the JBL was, you should have turned off at the start, because the Soundboks here doesn't have any, but you're getting that plus half your money to put in your savings account. I think for the average, for the everyday user, you'd be silly to go for the Soundboks, because you would have to listen to them next to each other for a while to properly notice the difference. And I think 90% of people probably wouldn't, and yet you're half the price. You're half the price there. The biggest difference is the battery life. I have noticed myself that the JBL battery life isn't brilliant on this model. It is 12 hours, sounds pretty accurate, and even, to be honest, less than that even. I've had people round and it's just been playing in the corner of the room and it's just died halfway through the day. But you're saving a lot of money, and to just have it plugged in is not, like it is at the moment even, is not a massive deal. So it depends what application you're using it for. But the Soundboks does sound superior in my opinion. But it's all opinion, isn't it? So let me know in the comments what you think, and I'll reply to all of you.